Today we start our new adventure at Telford United as a Youth Academy Challenge save. They're newly promoted, they weren't in the playable leagues before, so this is an interesting journey for me to take on. The question is, how long would it take for me to get promoted to the National League? And how long would it take for me to get promoted to the Premier League? Let's find out together, shall we? The supporters have very simple expectations, one of them being playing entertaining football. We don't have a very big squad, and if we look at this, we've got 18 players here, but if we include players from the under-18 squad, we have a few more players added to the list. However, even though we've got 23 players now, we are going to lose some players due to loan spells ending, and because some players have had bids accepted for them, including our best player, Ricardo Deninga, from a side from Northern Ireland. I'm hoping that he will reject them and that we can keep hold of him, because he's easily our best player in the wings. The board wants us to finish mid-table, reach the FA Cup proper, and be competitive the FA Trophy, but we've got some bids that apparently we need to worry about. Windsor's someone we apparently tried to buy, and we're going to have to cancel this deal regardless, and we're withdrawing the offer now. While Scott's is looking to leave, apparently we transfer listed him, but he's on a non-contract, so I can't get rid of this, so it's unfortunate. Hall's our best goalkeeper though, so it's not the end of the world. Even if he doesn't want anything to do with us, because he's transfer listed. And Deniga, I tried to talk about him getting a new contract. He says no. We have 5 players I need to give new contracts to. I've already made an offer for Gibson, but Walker is one of my better players. I need to give him a new contract and to ensure he stays with us. He's a 4-star accountability player, but he's only a good player for our division, which tells you just how weak the squad is. And he knows his value. He's also only 21, so the fact this guy is so young, we need to keep hold of him. And I made a point to give him a big offer to ensure we got hold of him. And I tried to add an optional extension to his contract, so we could add that anytime we wanted to. The fact I went along with this and had to lower a few things to make things work for my liking was a bit frustrating, but he knew his value, and it was a bit of nagging and a bit disappointing that I kind of felt like I was kind of restricted here, but eventually found a sweet spot for this contract offer that I liked, and we got him tied down. So a big deal for me to keep hold of this guy, even if I was trying to add so much into the contract to try and make this appealing for him to stay with us long term. It was a bit hit and miss though with what I could potentially do in the future though. Hopefully we can keep hold of him long term. I set up the 4-3-3 formation and I decided to try and build a team from there, and this is the team I felt was best for us. Whether or not it would work long term, I don't know, but it's a big deal, and with the lack of depth we have in the squad right now, it's difficult. Webster's a player that I'd love to keep around, but unfortunately he's transfer listed and he's on a non-contract, so even if I wanted to keep hold of him, I knew that it was impossible to keep hold of the guy, even if he would become my long-term project, and I would love to keep hold of him, but because he's already transfer listed, he was nothing to do with us, and we're just resigned to losing him, unfortunately. My next course of action was to get a new head of youth development, and Ben Clapperson was the person I had eyed up. His resolute personality, his natural speed license meant he was perfect to grow with us and the club, and when we convinced him to sign for us, it was perfect, and I was delighted to convince him to become a head of youth development. The main reason I decided to go for Telford though was their facilities. They got good training facilities and good youth facilities. The youth level's already level 3. Even if the junior coaching and youth recruitment could be better, that's fine. And we've got 6,300 seats in the stadium, so it's not like I had nothing to work with here. But right now, the main problem is we're going to find is that there's a lot of problems we need to fill up. A lot of positions are not perfect, and we've got some decent cover, but at the same time, nothing is here that's good. And we just need to have more people joining us. I'm working with the assumption that the nigga's going to leave us, so I can't just assume we're going to have our best players here at the end of the day. We need a lot of strength and depth, and we need to get in a lot of the youth players to sign for us and to go through our youth system. So we're going to call up a load of players for the youth team and go from there. But this is my starting lineup. If Denenga is going to be leaving us, I'm expecting it to be the worst, but I am actually going for the wing back, naturally on the right-hand side, but actually letting Piglet players an inverted fullback on defend, because it actually suits him better, and I can't really just play everything I want. He's naturally a centre-back, so it kind of makes sense that we have to work with this, and every player that is really good at playing there are really only good for inverted fullbacks on defense. So I have to just be going through this route, despite the fact I want to play a different system and have a wingback on support playing that position. So that's something we need to go and work with. We do have a new gen in Priest though, playing in the centre back position, and I need to even figure out what I want to do with my wingers as well. Yusuf is a player I would love to have playing on the left wing, and he will be starting there. But if I can get Dananga to sign for us, or for him to reject a contract from his current club that he's got an offer from, then we're good. Yusuf is a player that I'm really happy with on the left-hand side though. He can't play on the right-hand side, which is why I'm not even considering him on the side. So if we can get some good players on the right-hand side, it's great. Midfield, Forsyth is probably the player that will be replacing Webster if Webster was to leave as well. I'm expecting Webster to also leave, so Forsyth will no doubt be playing as either DM or centre midfielder. I haven't decided yet, but Remy Walker could also play as a DM if I needed to, even if it would be a waste of his current ability. So, can we go further from this? And what happens by the halfway point of the season? So we've gone to the halfway point of the season, and the 21st of December. We are enjoying life in the Vanarama National League. We won a lot of our first couple of games. We lost to Boston United in our second game away from home and been in front at one point, but we won 5-1 in our first game in the league. Then we won 6-0 in our second home game of the season. And it was only into our third away game that we won our first game away from home, and that was against Peterborough Sport. And in the first 2 months, we really enjoyed ourselves. We were winning games, we were dropping points sparingly, but it wasn't until October we started to struggle a little bit, when we lost 3 games in a row. Altrincham we lost in the 4th FA Cup qualifying round, which upset the board and 2 players. Warrington then beat us in the league, and then South Shields beat us in the league. But those 2 teams, South Shields and Warrington, are fighting for promotion, so it wasn't so bad. What was annoying was dropping more points against Kings Lynn and Brackley Town. Brackley Town, at the time, were bottom of the table, and then Chorley destroyed us by 4-1. We did not feel good, but we have started to build up our confidence again after getting 2 wins in the next 2 games, and then picking another victory against Spennymoor, a game that I genuinely thought we'd lose. Unfortunately, we lost to Oxford City in the next game, and before we met up, we drew 1-0 against Boston United, a team that's fighting for promotion. We've got Boston City in the FA Trophy game next in the 3rd round. I'd like to think we can get a decent distance to the competition, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't win it. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot of games left, and if we can do well and continue to thrive in these competitions, that's wonderful, but it's not the end of the world. So far, we are in 6th place in the Vanarama National League North. We have played a game more than some teams around us. Alphington, for example, have played a game less and are on the same points as us, but we are 4 points clear of Darlington, who have played a game less, and we are 6 points clear of Marine, who came up with us last year. I've also just realised we've played 2 more games than some teams below us as well. Scarborough and Southport and Blythe coming to mind. However, I'm excited for what we can do. We are already 18 points clear of the relegation zone, and no one who is newly promoted is in the relegation zone, though Newington are in the relegation fight. Ourselves and Marine were also 2 other teams that came up with us. We have not had the best of records against teams in the top 7 though. We've beaten Alfredson, we've drawn against Kings Lynn, we've beaten Spennymoor, but we've lost to Warrington, we've lost to South Shields, and we lost to Boston United. Chorley and Oxford City are the only 2 teams that beaten us that I feel like we should have beaten, so it's not the end of the world, however. This is our youth intake preview though. We've got an A for goalkeepers, A for fullbacks, A for centre midfield, A for attacking midfielders, A for strikers, and B for centre backs. Wing backs are not up to scratch, but that's fine, and neither are wide midfielders and wingers. We've got no DMs come through though, which is a bit of a shame. But the fact we've got 1 goalkeeper, 1 fullback, 3 centre midfielders, an attacking midfielder, 3 strikers, and a centre back that look good is already a promising sign for what could be a potential golden generation. Is it going to be the case though? Who knows? I don't. We've reached the 6th of April. We've just had a youth intake, and it is one that fills me with excitement since we've got so many good players, and it is an intake we've needed for a while since we are starting to run thin on players because of injuries at left, right and centre. Given how many players that are considered elite talent and then top talent that we could use. It's great. We will go over these players, but we'll also go over some games we've had since we last discussed things, because we've had at least 4 months worth of matches and we're only 3 games left in the league campaign. I was last talking to you guys around the December period, and we have gotten to the 4th round of the FA Trophy. We lost in that. We were really good as well at some points as well. And we've had some results we're not so proud of. The 4 games about winning here was not ideal. In fact, we've only won twice in this period alone. So I think my squad depth is starting to hit me a bit harder than I want to admit. We are drawing more games we want to be drawing. We've only lost 3 times in this period, but we've also picked up a load of victories as well. We had this game against Celsius I need to talk about because of this really bad mistake from our defender, which is uncharacteristic. No, not my defender, my goalkeeper. It was a back pass to him from Bood, and he gets the ball and then runs away from it. Hall legitimately runs away from the ball, and Blackett scores the equaliser. If it wasn't for that, we'll be through to the next round because they also missed a penalty. That being said, I think Hall made up for that mistake because he saved the penalty. I believe it was Hall that saved this penalty, but they could have won this game in normal time, but Hall did save the penalty, so if anything, he made up for it. But still, we've had a lot of things that's happened. We've not been amazing, but we've not been out of place either. And in the league, we should be good for the playoffs. I don't want to say we are. The top 5 are already in the playoffs, and 3 games left, we have a chance to do well and do better. We take up Blythe Spartans in the next match. So I like to think we're going to be okay. After that, we've got Spennymoor, who are in the promotion battle, and Oxford City after that. So no one in the bottom half, apart from Blythe Spartans. And even then, Blythe Spartans are not a bad team, so that's a thing to worry about. But the thing you want to talk about, the thing you want me to discuss, is this youth intake, and there are some very exciting talent here. Bailey James Lodge has got the best potential according to our staff members. I see what they're talking about, but at the same time, he's not incredible. He's also only 15, but he's also fairly professional, so he can definitely develop. His physicals, probably not his best part of his game. His mentals in terms of aggression and bravery makes him a very good ball-winning player. He could also play in the DM and attacking midfielder position, so we've got options with this guy, to say the least. I could also make him a box-to-box, but at the same time, he's not particularly great with his tackling. But then again, most roles I use would rely on him having good tackling and off-the-ball ability, and composure, and dribbling, and balance. We've got Matai, who honestly, he's probably the best player according to our background staff. Very consistent, but low determination. We can work that out of him. He's got the Romanian and England nationalities, and he's a playmaker for the most part, which means he could probably play further back if I need him to be. So 13 passing, his mentals are really good for his age, and he's got decent acceleration. So honestly, could be a decent Mazzala, but I could also play him on the wings and use him as an inside forward on the right and on the left. So exciting times. This guy's got good potential, and I will be using him in the future because why wouldn't I? We got Milan Lazarov, who I will be using on the right-hand side because that's his position, that's his side of the pitch, and he's also good for the role. Yes, his dribbling is not amazing, but we can work on that. His passing and his technique are good. His decision-making is also good. His agility, also decent. So I'm happy with this guy. I really am. If we can make him as good as I think he can be, that's great. The only downside is his consistency is so bad, but he is workable. We can fix that over time. Kieran Jones is a left wing back who I'm going to have trained to play further back because why wouldn't I? Yes, I know his marking is only 4. Yes, I know his flair, not important. But his work rate is 16, his stamina is 11, his pace and acceleration are decent as well. He does need a lot of work for the defensive side of his game, but he's not terrible and we can work on it. He is inconsistent, but he's also a mercenary, so he will want money and we will try to offer him the money he wants. Now, Michael Rimmer is the player with the best current ability. He's got 20 aggression and 17 teamwork, so he'll definitely work hard for the team, and 15 work rate. He's the perfect player in terms of working for the team. How we can utilize him, I don't know. Apparently, he can play as a wide target forward when he's 5'3". Explain that to me, guys. Explain that to me. Come on. He is inconsistent, but he's good. He's a balanced personality, yes, but he's outspoken and volatile with his media handling style. His physicals are quite good for his age, and he's got 11 free kick taken for whatever reason. Don't know why. I'm not complaining. He's useful. And then we've got a guy called Raul, who's a centre-back who's 6'4". Very inconsistent though. Fairly ambitious though, so that could work in our favour. He's apparently a physical player. That's his playing style. 13 jumping reach, 13 balance, 16 natural fitness. So yeah, he could definitely work hard and be useful. Obviously not be a ball-playing defender, but I'll train him to do that. I need to work on his heading because 6'4" and only 5 heading, also only 3 strength. It's almost like he's tall, but he's a bit weak. So if we can work on making this guy a physical monster, that's great. He's also very much a player that suits the non-league style of things because he's very slow. He has one job, that is literally to win headers. Doesn't need to do anything else. And if we can work his strength and make him a stronger player, then we could utilize that strength. Doesn't need to be very good at where he heads the ball, just the fact that he can get there, you know? That's all we need to do. Kieran Barber is so inconsistent that he was not allowed to go and work at a barber shop. But that joke aside, we have got a good player here. Mazzala, as far as I'm concerned, absolutely perfect for him. Yes, the tackling is only 5, but who cares? 14 vision, 13 passing. We could make him a playmaker if we needed him to be. I just don't want to play him further back because of obvious reasons. But playing forward, going forward, being a Mazzala could work. Box to box could also work, but he's also... the 5 tackling could be the problem. But that's why the Mazzala's the role for him. He also likes to get further forward and get into opposition areas and round the keeper. Because he might be inconsistent, but he's not stupid. He's actually quite smart for his age and his ability. He's just so inconsistent to really do anything useful, isn't he? Now, Bradley Ferrer is the player that I'm the most excited about because even though he's inconsistent, he's a goalkeeper. We needed the goalkeeper. He's also fairly sporting, which I think is a good thing. Yes, there's a few things we need to work on, like his aerial reach, his kicking style and all that stuff. I probably won't be playing... I definitely don't think I'll be using him as a sweeper keeper, but a goalkeeper, normal goalkeeper... reflexes is good, handling's good, aggression's good, agility's good, decision-making's good. We can work on that. If we can make sure he's better at everything else, that's wonderful. Robert Smith is a striker who's definitely a target forward, 6'2", 12 jumping reach, 11 strength. Honestly, could be really useful. Also resilient. Downside is, he's inconsistent, but he knows when to be smarter. 17 bravery, 10 heading. I'd actually make him, if it wasn't for his tackling of 1, I'd actually make him a defender, but we don't need to do much. He just needs to be in the area. His acceleration of 4 doesn't make him a good player by any means, but if we need someone to just lump the ball towards and aim for, this is our guy. Doesn't need to be fast if he gets there first, and he can out-jump everyone else. Now, James Mitchell's the player, though, that will be my first team plans. 2-star current ability player ready. Very good determination. Is not inconsistent, but his mentals are good. Teamwork at 18, work rate at 14, determination of 18, 12 first touch, 15 aggression, and 11 free kick taking. So he's a pressing forward by all means, but he could also play further back if we really needed him to. Apparently he's a good ball winning midfielder as well, and a deep line playmaker because, yeah, apparently he could do the job well. His 4 tackling kind of lets him down in that regard, so definitely won't be playing him further back for that reason. He's definitely a striker though, and if we can work on his dribbling and finishing and make him a bit faster, he could be the perfect advanced forward for my system. It wouldn't take advantage of the teamwork though, so deep line forward definitely would be what we're looking for here for this guy first and foremost. If we can make him stronger and make him better in other areas, he's kind of what I need in the team. And Freddie Benson's the last player with 4-star potential ability. I'm not going to say anything about the stars at this point. I think they're just a guideline. They're not going to be something we can really aim for at this point in time. If they can play in the first team and we have injuries, they will play in the first team, even if they're potentially not good enough. This guy is consistent though, so whether he's consistently good or bad is another matter altogether, but he's consistent either way. We have a Shepherd in our midst, and his physicals are actually quite good. So Despite the fact he's only got 3-star potential ability and is inconsistent and is unambitious, his physicals could make him a nuisance. Foster's also right back, but a lot of the technical ability is not really there. He's kind of there mostly for his physical ability at this point, but he's not amazing. Elliott is also a player that hasn't got the best potential ability, low determination, but has some decent attributes. 14 tackling and 8 heading and 10 jumping, which makes him useful in some areas, but is he perfect? No, not really. But does he need to be perfect at this level? No, not really. Jack Floyd is probably not going to get signed, but I thought I'd show you him anyway. His casual personality is the reason I'm not signing this guy. Cannon Ward, also winger, doesn't seem to know what he can do. He's just got good balance and fitness, and that's about it for the most part. What do you even do with this guy? But yes, we've got 3 games left. I'll be back for the end of season review or the playoffs. It's one of the two, but either way, I'll be back later for that. We are back because we finished the season in 7th place. We have got a playoff game against Spennymoor today, and if we can beat them, we're in the next round. I will play this game. I'm not expecting to win. We've not had the best of records against Spennymoor this year. I say that, we beat them 3-0 at home, but then lost 2-1 away, so we can beat them. I just don't know if we will beat them. That being said, the last 3 games we had, we actually drew 1-1 the first game against Sply Spartans. We then lost 2-1 against Spennymoor. So that's why I'm thinking that we're not going to have the best of times, because we were away from home and we lost a 1-goal lead. But then we won the last game of the year by 2-1. Goals for Lazarov and Mitchell decided the game. I'm going to show these goals because there are 2 players that came from the youth intake 3 games ago, scoring their first goals for us from the bench. So, were they good? Well, it was actually a good bit of play here from us. Wittel finding Wimmer. He actually hits the bar and Lazarov hits the rebound. So, it was actually 2 academy graduates linking up by accident. And then Mitchell's goal was from a set piece. Lazarov involved, taking it. It found its way to Mitchell, and he takes it on first time. I think it gets deflected, but it doesn't matter. We got all 3 points, and this was the win that made sure we were finishing in 7th place, because at the time, we were going to finish down in 8th before that goal. So, important victory to secure a playoff position, given we only finished a point clear of Kings Lynn, and had we not even drawn, we would have finished in 9th. That was a big victory, to say the least. Still, that being said, we're going to take on Spennymoor. We're going to hope for the best. I don't think we're going to win, though it would be nice if we could. In an ideal world, we don't get promoted this year because we don't think we're going to be good enough. I don't think the team's that good, quite frankly. We're not going to get enough to get promoted. And I should actually show you this instead. We are predicted in 21st place, so clearly we're not very good. I'm trying to keep everyone tied down effectively, but this is going to be a difficult season next year regardless. I am starting to throw more people into the first team. Walker's been moved back to the DM position because he can play there. It's good for him. You got Kerr, who's a 4-star kind of basic player, but he's only a good player for the division. So that tells you how bad this team is, that a good player is a 4-star kind of basic player. Deninga has still managed to stay with us. We've kept hold of him. He's a good National League player. He's also a 5-star current ability player on both wings, and we're not using him in his best position. So it is what it is. I will hope that we can do good things, as Brad Bood is also a leading player for the division, but he's also a 4.5-star current ability player who's also not willing to extend his contract right now. So we are going to struggle a little bit to keep hold of him. So next year will be difficult, and I think we will struggle a bit more, but if we can get the players that I'm going to give time to an opportunity to improve, then that's wonderful. Yusuf is injured for another 7 days. He's kind of our best left winger, so he's been a big miss, and I think it's the reason why we've not done so well. He's a 3-star kind of busy player, but he's only a decent player for the division, so again, that's a problem when we are so light on talent. Promotion to the next tier would absolutely not be what we want. I'm also trying to convince Brandon Hall not to retire because he's decided to retire at the age of 32. Don't know why he's trying to retire, but okay. Hopefully he decides to rescind his retirement and I can get him to sign a new contract. because I didn't think he would literally declare his retirement. Either way, let's see how we do against Spennymoor. Okay, so they've had a shot. I don't know who it was that took it, but they've had all the shots so far. They've got the momentum on their side as well. I'm hoping that Hall doesn't retire. We do have a goalkeeper that's literally come from our intake, but he's not good enough already enough to do anything for us yet, as we are about to go behind. No, we've hit the post. Let's go cautious instead now. We've had nothing. They've been on top right now. Taylor goes for goal. That's an outstanding free kick, and that's his 32nd goal of the year. We're going to lose this game, and I was already planning to be in this division next year anyway, so this is not the end of the world. 7th place in our first season is still a great season. If we can get an equalizer of any kind, that's great. How did we lose that? McKeown plays a... Oh my gosh. Okay. We need to be better than this. We've been very lucky to not be losing by more than one goal. And even then, their goal was outstanding. So, we've been terrible. I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm just going to break the team. You've been terrible. What are you doing? Come on. Do better, please. They've got another corner. And they didn't score. I was about to expect them to score. Here's Greenfield, now Shanks. And they are doing really well. How has that gone in? How has that gone in? You'd think that's not going to go in, but it has. And either that's been deflected or something else has happened. I don't know what's happened there. How has this gone in? Like, I know that they're the better team, but they've had 2 really good finishes. That's not even deflected. That's just found a top corner. That's just outstanding. I like to think that throwing the youngsters on is going to help energize the team, but they're not very good, so this might not go down too well, especially when that's the case. And Taylor's literally went off the pitch trying to get that. Here's Taylor, though, for them. And this could be free. This is going to be free. How have they missed that? Unbelievable. I'm brave the players. I've actually got defensive now because I generally think we might need to go defensive. Not because I want to, as Lazarov goes in. Okay, defense has worked. What a goal from Lazarov. What a goal from the Swiss youngster. We've got a goal back. Go defense, it's worked. And how about it? The 2 substitutes that I brought on for the attacking side of things have absolutely just linked up and done that. What a finish. Unbelievable. Well, we lost. I wasn't too surprised. There's actually been 3 really good goals, honestly, but we lost, and I guess I should have seen this coming. Well, yeah. Apparently Hall's still bidding farewell to us. I don't like that's the case, but hopefully we can keep hold of him and make sure he stays as James makes his debut. Yes, I literally gave this kid his debut. I have nothing to lose at this point. I'm just going to throw some youngsters in to see what we can do with it. I still don't think he's going to retire. I like to think I can still keep hold of him. I'd like to keep him around. He's a good player. Decent player for the division, but still a good player for us. Let's hope we can keep hold of people. Okay, we've got budgets. We've got wages of 8.25 grand. We've also got a transfer budget of 71 grand. So the fact we're not going to be spending money on players is interesting. I could just adjust. I might just do this. How much would I get? 9.5 grand if I wanted to. I'm not going to yet, but we got £373,000 in the bank, so that's good. And we got something to work with. If we can make sure this gets better and better, that's great. I just need to make sure we're not losing money every year. And if we can keep the club financially afloat while making sure we develop their youngsters, that's wonderful stuff. It really is. Okay, we just got a supporter profile update. That's fine. We are expected to do quite a lot, apparently. But develop players using the club's youth system is now expected, so that's good. As we did get another 503 people joining us social media following, so that's actually really useful. I'm happy that's the case. But they also want us to attempt to avoid relegation from the league, so clearly they don't think we're going to be very good this year. And the board next year also just want us to attempt to avoid relegation, so clearly they know what we're going to be doing, and that's a problem. But okay, we can work on this. Also, Hodgkiss is going to retire. I barely used him in the end, mostly from the bench, to be fair, but he's not that good. And thankfully, he's retiring, so he knows his position. Not actually a bad coach either, so I might just give him the contract and say, hey, do you want to be the coach? And go from there. I'll give you a bit of money and go from here. I'll even give him a 2-year deal so he can actually become better. It's more so he can just, yeah, as when he retires, which should be soon. Let's do a 2-year deal. Yeah, 2-year deal. That's fine. Already getting paid that as it is, so it's quite good actually for him. And as a coach, he's actually quite good for the assistant manager kind of thing, ironically enough. So he could actually be a decent assistant manager, but he's going to coach for now. He's already studying for his national A license, so we might as well keep developing him. He's got good mental attributes, so I like him, and I think he'll be a good coach for me. It also keeps him in the team and lets him develop as a player, as a coach, sorry. He was already a coach at Telford as well, so if anything, he's just continuing what he was doing before, so why not? And my facilities have been downgraded. Okay, what are my facilities now if I look at this? So they're down to average. I suppose it's not terrible, though I'm almost scared to ask how much it would cost to upgrade it. But also it's only down by 1, so like half a star, so it's not terrible. We can keep going for now, I think. We also got hit by tax bill of 50 grand, and we've now got £463,000. I am going to ask about the facilities. Can we improve them? I'd like to know what they say about this. We've got a scouting budget of 12,000. We're already spending it as it is, so let's keep that the same. Okay, Hodgkiss has decided to become a coach for us afterwards, so that's good. And they have rejected this because of the financial situation. Okay, don't know what's going on there, why they say it's the financial situation that they're denying us, but I'll let them do what they want, I suppose. I had a feeling it was the case, and if anything, I'm actually kind of relieved they didn't actually give me the money. But whatever, we can work with this. So Boston United have been promoted to the Vanarama National League. I don't know what this will mean for us going forward, but I hope we get our end of season review soon. And here it is. Not very happy. It's a bit dark and gloomy right now, but that's fine. We, despite having a really good start, did finish in 7th. I'm not upset by the finish in the end. Quite frankly, we were never expected to do much out of this. And the fact we managed to get as high as this is good. The board are disappointed with the fact we only got to the playoffs, which I think they're lying to me about. But they are happy with the fact we got there. We did okay. South Shields beat us. South Shields did get promoted as champions, so the lose to them in the FA Trophy is not terrible. Boston were really good against us as well. I believe they beat us twice. We drew against them once. Did they draw against us twice? I know we drew against them once. I think they beat us once as well. I think, yeah, they're the first team to beat us. So Boston being promoted tells me everything I need to know. They're really good. And we did get some big wins, though at the same time, we've also had some pretty bad defeats. So it's not the end of the world. I'm not expecting to be as high as this next year because, let's be honest, we overachieved. This 6-0 victory in the 3rd game of the year is the biggest win we've got. And Gibson got the goal of the season against Kidderminster Harriers with a free kick in the first day of 2025. It was, ironically enough, the only shot we had on target in the entire match, and that was the goal. Very similar to the free kick we conceded against Spennymoor, but at least we know how to score. Everything is brand new, so this will not be massively surprising, and the money we got was good. We'd like to get to more money at some point, but we can work with this for now. How we learned was this. We did have a good midfield and defence, actually. Priest and Walker were good. Forsyth was also good. Daninga was also good, as was Bood. We are expected to lose Daninga and Bood at some point. Yusuf wasn't particularly great, and neither was our defence. Hall could be retiring. If he retires, this is bad for us, and we might be in trouble next year. Massively so. Given that this is all brand new, the fact that Gibson did get 23 league goals is important. He has got a new contract. A load of players have got new contracts anyway. And I'm hoping we can keep hold of all the talent we have. It's just one of those things we need to be lucky with. Hopefully Hall does stay with us and that Bo doesn't decide to leave us. Oldest player, 38 years of age. Youngest player, 15 years of age. That's an entire generation. But yes, it was good and we did really well to get the playoffs this year. My main concern was that we were going to struggle. They are literally going to say unwanted records. Yeah, we got 84 goals and they're still upset by some of this, but there we go. 77 points as well. Really good here. And we did okay. I like to think we were really good here. The fact that we have managed to get as many people here is good. Yes, some of these records are pretty silly, And the fact our first game in charge was a 5-1 victory against Newington was really good. Winning 4 in a row was good. We lost 3 in a row as well. And Priest was the first of many players to come through our academy and do well here. And I like to think that we had some good things. Our new owner is also here, so that's a thing. The fact that we apparently had 7 players making their debuts from our youth academies is interesting. And there's some good things happening this year. Payout, we paid 8.75 grand to the backroom staff and players, so that's good. And we've now got £574,000. Apparently, a lot of that is from season ticket sales, so we're making money, and that's good. In an ideal world, this would be our first team going forward, but I will be honest to say I expect a lot of these players to be moving on. I expect Daninga to be moving on, so we'll have either Shepard or Lazarus starting instead, which is a downgrade, I will acknowledge, but that's expected. And the same could be said for our left backs, so Kieran James could be starting because Fox is also retiring, so that's a thing. And if Hall retires, then Farrow will start instead, so we'll have a lot of youth academy players coming in potentially, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 youth academy players starting. It will be a massively weakened squad, but hopefully we don't have to rely on this sort of thing and that we can move forward and have a good time. I am expecting to have to rely on young players to go and help us forward. I'm hoping we don't have to worry about this though, and I'm hoping that the players who have decided to retire this year will stay on. I'm not going to rely on Fox though. I don't think I need to rely on Fox. I like James more than Fox, quite frankly, and that says a lot. And also, he's quite good. I think he's going to be really good for me. But that's the nature of the beast of the Youth Academy Challenge save. You should get very lucky with some really good talent, or you could be really unlucky and struggle for many years to come. Hopefully, the players that we got this year will start to develop quite quickly, and we can benefit from that long term. What I'm going to be doing though is ending this here. If you like this kind of video, be sure to like it. It lets people know that you're interested, and it also tells me that you guys want to see more of this challenge. And be sure to tell me in the comments down below who's the favourite player that came through our academy this season, and where do you think we're going to finish next season? Are we going to be fighting in the playoffs again, or will we be fighting down in a relegation scrap next year? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of that down below, but anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.